Any questions for Richard?
Yeah. So you write research team.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is the best way to use our data, by the way, having that human exo level layer of intelligence. What type of skills do the people have in that team to do that? And do you think it'll come into sort of mainstream in-house teams?
I don't know if you want to talk about the delivery team.
Yeah, sure. In terms of the delivery team, you've got everything from ex-grads right the way up to people that have focused on being delivery consultants for the last 20 odd years.
Yeah.
I suppose the main skill set of the team, what we look for, is their ability to think outside the box.
Right.
They'll use loads of different sources. This will just be one of their tools that they're using. And sometimes it's really bizarre things, like they go back in time and look at the most popular names in Norway of females that could do a job, and then that's how they go around the houses to get candidates. So it's all about them building layers of like the data, but then sort of peeling it away. What we tend to do then is take samples and then call the market and get real-time data, quotable, qualitative data to add onto these sort of stats.
Yeah.
But their skill sets range really. But I'd say they enjoy it. They get into it. They get a real buzz out of finding out this like stuff that they can't normally.
And I think that question about could you see it coming in house? I think that the Horsefly report as a standalone output operates at that level. Right? So we can offer that to a hiring manager and say here's some insight into the market and take it that far. But what we typically do is recognise the need of that hiring manager to understand how much insight they really need, and that's where we then can start to talk about the fact that whilst we can give you something very quickly, what we really want to do is back it up with a more insightful piece of research, and that's where we start talking about bringing light research into a wider conversation. So it's kind of the two levels of what do you expect to get out of this. We can spit something out really quickly for you, it'll give you some insight, but is that enough? And if it isn't, let's engage our right research colleagues to give a wider piece of insight for you.
Rich, just as an extension to that sort of same question, you mentioned that the Horsefly was part of the process of building an attraction strategy and messaging as well. Are you getting stuff from Horsefly to lead you down the messaging path, or is that part of the human element?
It's human, because what Horsefly has given us is insight as to who else is recruiting in that space. And it goes back to what Rowan was talking about. You then can start seeing what potentially they're talking about in that space, which might inform some of the thinking about what messages you need to go to. But
just checking out.
You're not getting something that very quickly aggregates a load of key messages in the market that you can then feed off it. But it starts the journey, is the way that I would say.
Have you found this has helped with workforce planning and talent management when you already can say, well, actually there's only 3 Python, you can't keep going out for those 3 people, can you? So how's that been? How the managers have probably accepted that they need to start thinking about developing their own, growing their own.
Yeah, I mean, so is there more that we can do in that? Yeah, definitely. But we are proactively trying to build talent communities across some of our core job family needs across the organisation. And again, what this can help us to do, and I'm not saying we're particularly great at this today, is inform the effort that we need to take in the particular job families where we're going to have more focus, if that makes sense. So I don't think that we've got that ironed out as a standard process, but I think that what we are able to do as part of that sourcing function and responsibility for building those talent communities is to identify the challenges that it comes back to, okay, what else do we need to do to increase the numbers that we're going to build into those talent communities.
David, sorry, I hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot, but we had a really good session with David and the team at Nationwide a couple of weeks back, and I think there's some really good demand planning, workforce planning things that you're implementing with that.
Yeah, so I mean we're in the very early stages where we've got a demand planning manager who's come in. He's been with the business about 6 months now and is quantifying that data, and he's working with Simon now to see how Horsefly can feed into that as well. I think it's a sensible idea really in a lot of areas, and we're talking about expanding massively in kind of data and analytics and in tech spaces like architecture. And my team, which is direct sourcing, needs to know about that information earlier, needs to be able to provide the data that Horsefly provides. And feed that into a wider conversation about what challenges we will face and how we go about that. So yeah, I think it naturally goes hand in hand where maybe we didn't see that initially.
Yeah.
Great. Good. Okay. Let's. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah,